Hello, Study Mums, and welcome to another episode of the Study Mums Pathways to Success podcast, the podcast helping mums achieve their study goals faster, easier, and with less stress. I'm your host, Susie Phillips, and you are joining me for episode 13. Now, today we have our Rita Maher, holistic counsellor and part of our Study Mum community. Welcome, Rita.
Hi, Susie. How are you?
Good. It's lovely to have you back. Now, today we are talking about stress busting. So, in the mix of studying, financial worries, children being sick, things can be quite stressful. And you're going to talk about some ways that we can keep our sanity and keep moving forward with everything that our goals and accomplishing what we're setting out to do. So I'm really, really interested in this one.
Yeah, I think it's a hot topic for many people because as much as we'd like to live a stress-free life, we certainly don't.
No, I don't think we have a choice about that, unfortunately.
Funny you say that because I think there's at times when we can take on some stress that actually doesn't belong to us, and I think realising what does and doesn't belong to us is part of the way of busting through the stress.
Right.
Sometimes, especially, and I know I say it that mums take this on board and everything, and I don't mean to discriminate the dads because dads certainly take on their stress levels as well, and that they have their own set of stress. And if there is any dads out there who are studying and have stumbled along this site, then what I'm saying pertains to you as well. But mums tend to take on that little bit extra of guilt. It's the society's way of sort of keeping us in a box. And so we tend to take on a little bit more stress, I believe, than what's actually ours. So I think we do have a bit of a choice. Certainly I'd love to see us reduce as much stress as we possibly can. And it really is about recognising what we need to hold on to and what we don't need to hold on to. So we can certainly touch on those things today.
Yeah, because I think everyone's going to have different priorities, aren't they, as well? So that's going to be different for everybody.
Absolutely. And, it's like everything. Take what you need, forget the rest. Okay, so if certain things that, we speak about are going to relate to you and it's really going to hit home if you take that. If you don't need something else that's been said, leave it. Doesn't matter. You don't need to take that on board. It's not, we're all different. We're all organic and everybody's going to have different priorities and different triggers. So when we recognise our triggers, when we know what is and isn't ours, when we know what we can give away, then we can start to really go, all right, let me create that stress-free environment. Let me have that time where I can study and not be feeling guilty and not be stressing about, what do I need to cook for dinner? Or, do I need to go do groceries first before I cook dinner?
Yeah. Things
like that.
Okay. And so how do we get started with that? How do we, take those first steps to figure out what it is that we can keep and work towards, and what can we let go of?
Okay, so one of the tools that I use with a lot of my clients is to create a stress list. And that sounds a bit crazy. We want to get rid of stress and we're going to create a stress list. But the reason I want to create a stress list is I want to know everything that is triggering you. I want to know what's going on for you because you walk through your life, you know it better than what I do. And so in that list, I say to my clients, keep a little journal, a little book, use your phone. If you're really tech savvy, use the notes section of your phone and put it in there. But every time you're stressed, write it down. Write down what is happening in that moment. What's going on for you? What's been that trigger? Write down what's happening for you on a physiological level. Is your heart pounding? Have you started to get a headache? Are you feeling short of breath? Are your hands getting shaky? Have you ran to the fridge and got food? I'm guilty of that at times, I can assure you. Have you, for those who smoke, have you instantly felt the need to go and have a cigarette?
Right.
What is your body's response to that stress?
So we're bringing awareness to what's stressing us out and then our reaction to it, basically.
Yeah. And then the next part of that is to, and we won't do it instantly, but we eventually will learn to do this, is to then look at it and go, answer this question, can I do anything about it right now in this present moment? If the answer is yes, then what do you need to do about it? Go ahead and do what needs to be done to alleviate that stress. If the answer is no, it is no good further stressing about it because you can't change it right now. The next question you need to ask is, do I have to take action on this, or can somebody else take action on this? And this is where we start to find out, is the stress mine or is it someone else's?
Right.
Okay, so do I need to take the action, or can someone else take the action?
So what would be an example of that, Rita, just to clarify that point?
Okay, so I'll give you an example. This morning, classic example, first day back at school down here in New South Wales, and my son had swim skiing. But I did not remember it. It was not even on my radar. So I get the frantic phone call from the school, hi, your son's got swim skiing today and he hasn't got anything with him and they're leaving in 10 minutes.
Oh, right.
Now, the other part of me was going, oh, no, I have to get ready for this. So I'm like going, now, thankfully, my husband's home sick today. So I quickly just went, you know what, I actually don't need to deal with this right now. I can delegate it. And as much as he was at home sick, it was a 5-minute drive to and from the school. It wasn't going to be detrimental. He could take care of that. So I delegated that away so I could go, oh, okay, now I can step back into where I need to be to get ready for what I need to do during the day.
Right.
Now, if I couldn't have delegated it, then can I do something about it right now? Yes, I can. I can get the stuff, go down there, come back, take 5 seconds, sit, breathe, realise that it's okay. It was just a little hiccup in the day. So that's a really basic example of that. I didn't need to deal with it. The other thing is dinner time. How many mums are still doing all the cooking or all the cleaning or anything like that?
Yeah, I know in our household, I don't think I'd want anybody to do else to do the cooking at the moment.
Well,
I still feel the pressure. I still feel the pressure.
But the thing is, do you need to do it all?
Mm.
So if you don't need to, so if you need to do the cooking, does someone else do the cleaning?
Yeah.
Right? Okay, so some delegation. If you're at work, and I know a lot of our study mums are working mums as well as studying. So they're at work and they've got, high demand jobs, things like that. Can they delegate some of that work elsewhere? Can some of it be passed off to someone else? If we're talking about, having our house nice and tidy, and I know that can be a stress. Like there's all these little things. And we've got kids, well, can they learn to make their bed, and can you let go of the bed not being perfect?
Right, yeah. I like how you mentioned that. Yes, that's right, because a lot of the time I think we do these jobs and we take them over because we prefer them to be a certain way.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But you know what? They're never going to learn unless we let them explore how to do it. Sure, we can give guidance and everything like that, but do I need to stress about it? And you know what? If it's a financial trigger, let's say we've got a bill to be paid and maybe the money's not there right now for it. Well, can you do anything about it? No. Is it yours to deal with? Probably, because probably the bill's in your name. If it's in a joint name and you and your partner, are really on top of sharing the finances and everything, then both of you can deal with it. But the thing is, if it's actionable, action it. Pick up the phone, ask for an extension, do something along those lines.
Right.
Don't leave it sitting there continually stressing you. Have you got an assignment due and you're not going to get it done? Well, you know what? You've got a couple of options. Either everything else goes by the wayside and you action it and you get it done, or you pick up the phone, you speak to whoever's running your course, speak to your course coordinator, your lecturer, whoever it is, explain the situation, explain that it's not going to get done. If you can't make the judgment call on it, then it's not yours to worry about. Someone else has to worry about that judgment call. You may not like the answer.
Yeah, and I guess if you do that and, and the answer is no, sorry, we can't do that, well, at least then you know which action that you need to take and to follow. So, yeah.
Yeah, so it's about looking at it. Is it really mine? Is, if you've got a friend who's ringing you up and is telling you all about what's going on with their life, I know so many people will take that on board and worry about how they can help their friend. You already did. You listened. That was all you had to do in that part of the conversation. All you had to do was listen. You do not need to fix it. It's theirs to fix. It's not yours to carry. It's not yours to own. It's their issue. It's their life. And if you could just be a shoulder for them at that point in time, excellent. Then let go of it because it's not yours. And so many people I see take on other people's things.
Oh, of course, yes.
I can't tell you the amount of times I start off talking to one of my clients and go, so how have you been? What's been going on? And I can hear about everybody else's stuff.
Right.
And then I go, well, what about you? Oh, no, I'm all good. It's everybody around me. But they're stressing me because they're going through so much stuff. Yes, they're going through it. You're not going through it.
And how do you block that kind of, obviously I think a lot of people would feel that it's a necessary thing, to be a good friend, good mother, good daughter, whatever your role is in that particular situation. How do you, block that, like not taking on other people's stuff when, obviously you're going to feel obligated or, like that you genuinely want to help?
I have a saying about that, and I have taught it in quite a few classes that I've ran where people have been very empathetic and have really felt what's going on for other people and really want to take it on board. And, it's a beautiful trait to have when it's balanced.
Right.
But when that trait becomes out of balance and we take it on board and we want to be the fixer, then I'm very harsh in the way I deal with it and the way I explain it. And I say to people, while you're being the fixer, you're being very selfish.
Right. So it's about stepping back, not trying to fix the situation, but being supportive, perhaps.
Exactly. When you step into fix, and for some situations you will be asked to step into fix. I'm not saying don't step in, but when you step into fix and you have removed the ability of that person to take control of their life, you have undermined their ability for them to step up and learn from whatever's going on. And it can then become about you feeling good about yourself because look what I did for you.
Right. Yeah.
Right?
And then on the flip side, you get stressed out because you haven't been able to take care of your own stuff.
Exactly. It's a balancing act. It really, when I worked in an office environment, I used to ask people when they were coming in to do their offload, I go, do you want my help or are you coming to offload? And if they were coming to offload, I would pick up the bin from under my desk and go, okay, chat away. That's where it's going to go. It's going to go here and straight to the bin. Because it wasn't mine. They just needed to vent. And it's recognising that people need to vent instead of taking it on board. Most people are really capable of solving their own issues.
Right.
Most people inherently have inside of them the tools that they need to move forward and to fix anything that's going on in their life. Sure, there's certain things where help is required. And, that goes without saying. But most people can do it. So it's about recognising our stress. Is it actually ours? Because I bet if you wrote a stress list, there'd be quite a few things on there that aren't yours. When you're really honest with yourself, when you're really, saying what's going on. If your child has a problem at school, it's at their school. And as mums, we just want to go in with that big protective blanket and we want to make sure everything's okay. And when we do that, have we allowed our child to grow? Have we allowed them to find the problem-solving tools that they will need for later on in life? Probably not. There'll be times when you need to walk in, but sometimes you need to back off And just let your kid come and sit with you, talk to you about it, maybe give them a few little tips, but it's not yours. It's their journey. You're walking alongside with them. And it's the same with your friends, the rest of your family, your work colleagues. You know, if you're studying beautician, if you're doing a beautician course, I guarantee you people are coming in telling you the world, because people come in and tell hairdressers and beauticians everything.
Yes.
You can't take that all on board. It's not yours.
Yeah, yeah.
So is it really yours? If the trains are not running to time, is that your stress? Or is that City Rail or wherever you live, is that their stress?
Right, of course.
Sure,
Yeah.
it might make you a little bit late, but is it really your stress? Quick text to the boss, listen, trains are running late, chances are there's 4 other people in your office sitting on that train. If you're stuck in a traffic jam, turn the music on, sing. You can't do anything about the traffic jam, so why are you stressing about it? Yes, you may be late. The message is, as long as you arrive, it's okay. So keeping that stress diary actually allows us to see what's really going on. And once we've done that and we understand then what our physiological response is, we can start to recognise when we're becoming stressed before we even realise what the trigger may be. Right. Especially if for most people, you know, their muscles become tight, their breath shortens, you know, they start to get a bit fidgety, things like that. When those things start to happen, we can go, all right, I'm starting to get stressed. This is starting to impact on me. What is it about the situation that's impacting? Do I have control over it? Can I do anything about it? Is it mine?
Right.
Now, if it's yours, but you've got no control over it, put it down. Write down what the stress is and just leave it. Leave it to the side. You can't control it, so don't let it destroy the rest of your day. That's
what if
really
there's something
important.
pressing that has to be done? Like, say, you know, it happens to all of us. We leave our assignments or whatever to the very last minute. We've only got a few hours to get them in. And, yeah, that's something you can't really put down and walk away from, is it?
No, and that's
How do you
something
get through that?
That's something where when we talk about reducing the stress around study, it's about creating a flow list. It's about knowing when things need to get done and really protecting that list, really making sure that we understand where we're at, what we need to get done, how much time. You know, look, when you first start studying, you're probably not going to know how much time you need to dedicate to each unit, to each assignment. I know that the general rule of thumb is 10 hours per subject per week. Yeah. So be real with yourself. Find 10 hours. It's not hard to find 10 hours in a week. It just may mean some things need to go by the wayside. So you might not be able to watch your favourite TV show.
Right.
Put it on record. Watch it after you've done your assignment as a reward.
Yeah.
Okay? But create that flow list. Know when your assignments are due. That will help reduce the stress. Set a flow list as to what you need to do for your assignment. If you've got to write an academic essay, then really break down what is it, what's got to be done in that academic essay. What is the question that needs to be answered is always the first thing. What question do I need to answer here? And then chunk it down. What sort of research do I need to look at? Where can I research it from? How many journal articles am I going to need? You know, find out.
We're preventing that stressful moment. We're trying to avoid it.
When you create that flow list, you will prevent the stress that goes alongside it. And inside that flow list, keep things in there. I'm doing the school run from this time to this time. Dinner, have it in the slow cooker. Get it already done. You know, have it cooking while you're doing your study if need be, or while you're at work. You know, you can still, I know we're coming into summer months in Australia and the weather's getting a lot warmer and things like that, but you could still have a meal cooking in the slow cooker and serve it with a salad at home. For all those who say, okay, slow cooker's only for winter for me.
Yeah.
You'll be cooking things in there. You can do a roast chicken in slow cooker and serve it alongside a salad. You
Yeah,
can
it's
have that.
amazing. It's amazing, actually, what you can do in a slow cooker. And I think on our Facebook page as well, the Study Mum Facebook page, we often have, I find little things that help with time management, and we often have like little recipes and things for slow cookers. So also with the Study Mum, you can join the Study Mum closed group too, which we can give each other ideas. So yeah, it's another
Exactly.
that.
Find your support network.
Yeah.
Find your support network. If you're doing a course and you need to understand how much time and effort you need to put into something, speak to other people doing the course who are a step ahead of you.
Right, yes.
Speak to other people. There are forums everywhere. Jump on board, ask them. If someone's doing, a counselling course and someone's doing a beautician course, someone's doing a business management, naturopathy, there's a whole range of different courses, but you know what? Every single one of them has some information that they can give to you.
Yes.
They can tell you how to do it. So if you create that flow list, you're going to reduce the stress.
Yeah.
You're going to reduce the stress. What isn't your stress to hold, go and write it down and throw it in a bin. Physically think, yep, I'm getting rid of that. That's not mine. I don't need to have it. Get rid of it. Get your flow list in place. Know when are things coming on board. When do I need to have certain things done? For those who love their smartphones, they can have those little reminders going on there. Yep, I need to be doing this now. And do it. Do what you need to do. Turn Facebook off. Turn Twitter off. Turn Instagram off. Put your phone on Do Not Disturb.
Yeah.
Do what you actually need to do. Do not get up and make 3 coffees when one will do.
Right.
That's procrastinating. Stop procrastinating.
That's a whole nother podcast episode.
It is. But stop procrastinating.
Oh, dear.
Procrastination is the key cause of stress.
Okay. So it's other than, preempting all these stresses that might come after we've done our stress list and our flow list, is there any advice you can give somebody that, this just hasn't happened yet and they're right smack bang in the middle of completely freaking out, everything's just not working and the stress is, very severe? What can you do in that moment? What are some of the techniques you can do just to ease out of that and hopefully get back on track with what you're doing?
Okay, so one of the things I would say is put everything down. Literally put everything down. Step away from the computer, because chances are that's where your assignment's being done. Step away from that computer. If you can get outside, great. Get outside. If you can go and sit on the grass, that's even better. Go and sit down. Place your hands on your heart and just focus on your breath for a moment. Just breathe. Okay? If you're doing deep breathing, you can't then go into a state of stress. All right? So just some deep breaths and focus on your heart. Feel your heart actually beating. Allow yourself to just feel that go through your body. Just focus there on that beating heart. Allow your breath to fall back into its natural rhythm, just gently in and out. Okay, you're in a state of stress, but we just want to bring you back down. Your brain waves are going chaotic when you're in that state of stress. It's that fight or flight syndrome. And what we want to do is bring you back into your body instead of being all up here going, oh my God, it's all going pear-shaped. I can't do anything about it. Once we create that continuous cycle of thinking that we're stressed, what are we going to do, how are we going to get through it, we actually need to put a breaker in that. It's almost like, I've heard it described once, and this was surrounding children, of having a traffic jam in your brain.
Right.
Okay, so the traffic jam's happening. We've got a million different messages going on all at once, all about how we are not going to be able to cope. So stop, walk away, get outside if you can. If you can't get outside, go to another room. Okay, hand on heart, do some deep breathing, 3 or 4 really good deep breaths. Plant your feet on the ground. Listen to your heart. Feel your heartbeat. Bring yourself back into your body. And then think of something wonderful. Think of something amazing where you have achieved, where you've been able to push through. You know, feel the moment where you were able to achieve something. And every single one of us has something that we have achieved in life. It doesn't have to be winning a Nobel Peace Prize. It has to be something we've achieved, that we're proud of, that something that lifted our spirit. Bring that moment back in. Fill your body with that moment. You know, if you're struggling to find that moment, fill your body with a moment of great joy. Okay? And we've all got one of those moments floating around. Mm-hmm. And then gently ask yourself, what do I need to do next to help this situation? And the first answer that comes into your head is the answer that you need to go with. Okay? So if that answer is go back and read that article, go back and read that article. If that answer is have a cup of tea and sit down, then do that. You know, do what that answer is. You inherently know exactly what you need to do to get through. It's just up here, that traffic jam happens. It's gridlock, peak hour, and the right message can't get through.
Yeah. And it's good in that moment to do something that makes you feel good.
Yeah,
exactly. To be able to get that good feeling back and to move forward, yeah.
And the other thing, like I would, you know, we all get stressed. It's and good stress is great for us. We like good stress. It's when we take on too much bad stress. So the other things I like to use, you know, things to bust through the stress. Get outside and exercise. Schedule it in. Go for a walk. Get outside. If you've got a treadmill, get on there and pound it for half an hour. Just pound away. 15 minutes if it need be. It's going to release endorphins into your body, which is going to allow you to feel good. It's going to allow your body to be more energized. You've always got more energy after you exercise.
And it is amazing how more productive you can be as well in less time if you do these right steps, isn't it?
Exactly. Make sure you're eating well. You know, don't go grab the cream bun or the big slice of chocolate cake. That's a heavy food. It's going to weigh you down. If you really need something sweet, I always say to people, go for a small slice, a small little square of cocoa or something like that. You know, you don't need a lot of it then. You only need a small amount. But make sure you're putting the right food into your body. Energize your body with the right foods that feel right for you. So if I'm studying, it's no good me sitting down to a pile of chips and gravy, because then my body is trying to digest all of that heavy food and it just feels tired. All of my energy goes to my digestive system. It's not going to where I need it to go. So while I'm doing stuff that, you know, needs to have high production, you know, I'm going to treat myself to the right food. So I'll have that smoothie drink. I'll go and make the juice that I want, you know. My go-to juice is ginger, carrot, apple and pineapple with some mint in it. That is my go-to juice. I love that. It's like, yep.
Sounds delicious.
And I'm like, yeah, I'm ready to go. That's what I love. But mess around with some juices and things like that. See what you actually love. There's going to be something else that you like. Put music on that inspires you. You know, don't put music on that's going to make you cry. Maybe putting a sappy song on. Go and put uplifting, inspiring music. You know what? Make yourself we've all got smartphones.
Yeah.
Get on there in your little music folder, make a folder called motivation and put the songs that get you pumping, you know, that get you wanting to do things. Aromatherapy, another great tool to use. Get a great blend. You know, if I'm going to be studying and I want to be able to study and retain information, this is the blend I would go to. 3 drops of rosemary, 3 drops of lemongrass, some basil, just maybe 1 drop of basil. That's my go-to blend.
Right.
Stick that in an aromatherapy diffuser, get it going. If need be, you can make an aromatherapy blend and put it in a roll-on bottle. Actually, hang on, I do have mine here. So make a little roller bottle. So you put some carrier oil in there, then put your blend oil in there, put it onto your pulse points, back of your neck. Rosemary, great for the hair, is fantastic for memory. Lemongrass is going to uplift us. Basil is going to give us clarity in our mind. So that's why I use that particular blend.
And we have to mention here too that you deal with aromatherapy all the time. You're also a Reiki healer and you're a holistic counsellor, and you're studying naturopathy.
Yes, naturopathy and nutritional medicine.
So, so for those people who are listening or watching Rita, like, you know, you're very knowledgeable about these things and what works and what doesn't. Yeah,
so go and find those things, you know. Find something that inspires and uplifts you, because if you're feeling good, you won't feel stressed.
Yeah, definitely.
That's how it works.
Yeah, it's very simple, isn't it, when you put it that way?
Exactly. If you're feeling good, you won't feel stressed. You know, I always say to my clients, have the lock screen on your phone as something that either calms you down or inspires you.
Yeah, I do that.
Because you've got it. You know, how many people are without their phone? Most of them have got it attached to their hand.
Yeah, and we all love great quotes that make us feel good. We all do. We all share it on Facebook, social media, and that's a lot of the time is what I have on my screensaver as well, is that one quote that really means something to me at that particular time. Yeah.
Exactly. And you know what? Remember this, when you're going through this study period and it's getting stressful and you're at crunch time and I've got to get it all done, you know what? You've been through dark days and you've got through them.
Mm. Yeah, sometimes the answer is just to do it, isn't it?
You have been able to get through bad days before. You know, your worst day can be your best day ever. It can be the day that changes everything for something so much greater. So while you're in that moment, remember, it is a moment. And if you live to be 100, that moment is one small little snippet in a vast, vast lifetime. It is just a moment. Bring yourself back, you know, get back into your body. You know, if you can't, I know we're talking about getting outside and things like that and breathing, getting back in. You know, there's another trick that people use, which is looking around, 5 things I can see, 4 things I can hear, 3 things, you know, I can feel, 2 that I can smell, and 1 that I can taste. So that you're grounding your body, you're getting out of that head space, putting a little stop break and getting back in, because it is only a moment. That assignment is due. The study has got to be done. You know, it's no good walking into a biochemistry exam and never having opening the textbook. You know you're going to fail, so don't set yourself up for failure. Be conscientious. You've made a commitment to study. It's not an easy commitment, but you've made the commitment. So honour yourself. This is about your journey. This is about who you are becoming in your life. So honour that path and know that, you know what, maybe for a year I'm going to be busier than what I thought I would be. But it's only 1 year.
Yeah.
Maybe it's 3 years. Maybe you are doing a bachelor's degree. Maybe you're doing that bachelor's degree over 10 years. And, you know, then you take the attitude that slow and steady wins the race. They do. As long as you finish, you've won. Because the only person you're ever competing against is you. That's the only person. Don't look at anybody else. Ask for advice from others. Take what you need. Leave the rest.
Well, Rita, that's fantastic. Just before we go, is there any last sort of stress busting? We've covered the stress list. We've covered the flow list. We've talked about aromatherapy, and really, really love the point of, you know, is it your stress or is it somebody else's? And if so, then to let it go. Like, that is probably the gem of this conversation that we've had. Is there anything else that you'd like to add?
Well, what I'm going to do, Susie, is I'm going to pop up a meditation.
Right.
I'm going to have a link on my website, and it will be a short, just 5-minute meditation. And what it's going to be is about just relaxing your body. So that's one thing that is one of my big go-tos, is to go for meditation and just take a moment to be wholly within inside my body. So I'm going to pop that link up later on my website so that people can grab that, they can download that, they can have that, so it can be their thing. As I said, it'll be short, 5 minutes, so it's not going to be something that will feel like it's a hassle to actually go and do.
Right.
But something that, you know, all the study mums can get access to, so that they can just take time out.
Yeah.
Because it's just a moment in time that you're stressed. If you're not going to be worried about it in 5 days, don't worry about it today.
Yeah.
And if you're not going to be worried about it in 5 years, certainly throw it away today.
Yes, most definitely. So we can, people can contact you at www.ritamaher.com, and we will also have show notes as well on our Study Mum podcast and website. So there'll be a little button there where you can go and get more great stuff from Rita. There always is. And there's many, many more podcasts from Rita too on the site. So I hope you go and check them out, and you'll get much, much more valuable resources and tools as well. And don't forget, Study Mums, please join the Study Mum closed group. You can join that through our website as well, because these are the kind of conversations that we can all have together and be able to help you through those challenging times where you are severely stressed out and not too sure which step to take next. And you know, I'm always there as well, and we've got great people that we can find out what the answer is if it isn't, you know, evident at that time. So thanks, Rita, for joining us today, and I know we're going to be seeing you very, very soon. What's the next thing we're going to talk about?
The next thing we're going to talk about is how to be a study mum with kids.
Oh, love that one. Great. Look forward to it, and we will talk to you again very, very soon.
Great. Thanks, Susie.